Now the next thing that we need is Hibernate. We're just going to download Hibernate for now, and then when we create our Java project, we're going to add the Hibernate jars to it. So what you can do is just go to www.hibernate.org, and then go to Downloads, and then from here, there's actually a few different options that you have. You can see that at the time of recording this course, the current final release version of Hibernate is 4.2.3. And just to let you know, the documentation for Hibernate really is still a little bit dated, at least at the time of recording this course. So some of the new 4.0 type of things are not in the documentation. It still really treats it as if it were Hibernate 3. So if you are looking at the documentation and you do get confused, just be aware that it may not be fully up to date. Now the way that we're going to use Hibernate is we're actually going to download this final.zip. I'm going to go ahead and start this download. And I'm just going to go ahead and click this direct link. And it's a pretty big download, 64.5 megabytes. And that's because it contains all the source code and everything. And the reason why we're going to do it this way is because this will simplify things a little bit. We're just going to basically get the jars out of the lib folder here. You could, of course, use Maven if you're familiar with Maven. If we go back to that page here, you can see that it has some information about the Maven repository artifacts, or you can use Ivy or something like that if you're familiar with that. But we're going to keep things simple and basically just copy the jars into our project once we've downloaded Hibernate. All right, so now that we've got the Hibernate file downloaded, let's go ahead and take a look what's in here. So you can see that we have this Hibernate release 4.2.3 final, and we actually have everything in here if you wanted to actually build Hibernate yourself, which is sort of nice because if you had some problem and you need to debug it, you do have the source code, but we won't be doing any of that in this course. Instead, we're going to be interested in this lib folder. And what we're going to look at is this required. Inside here is everything that we're going to need. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy this over on my machine. I have a utilities directory. Under here I have libraries. And I'm just going to put Hibernate in here and then paste all of these jars over. And we'll come back to this when we actually set up our project. We'll be adding all of these jars to our project. So now that we have Hibernate, we can go ahead and create our Java project. We can use these jars and we can get Hibernate configured to communicate with MySQL. And the only other missing piece is we'll need to have that JDBC driver for MySQL.